It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft, alongside Kevin McIntosh each and every day. Kevin, happy Friday. Glad to have you with us again.
Our usual, Tyler, happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Another day, another opportunity. Even feeling better about today because we ending one chapter and going on to a next one as far as the West Bloomfield School District is what I'm talking about. Let's go, Tyler.
Yeah, that is the case. Today is the last day of school in West Bloomfield School District, marking the end of the 2023-2024 school year. Huge accomplishment for everybody involved, from the teachers, the students, the parents, administrators, and everybody. Congratulations to them. And for those of you out and about near our schools today, a little bit more patience as those schools get out at the end of the day. Expect a big celebration. We'll certainly expect that right next door with our friends here on the campus of Chico Elementary School. Congratulations to everyone. Hopefully a happy, safe, and fun summer ahead. Happy, safe, fun event happened in downtown Detroit on Thursday evening. Big music event. The whole world came into Detroit for the grand reopening of Michigan Central Station, and couldn't have been a more grand opening than with some great Detroit music featuring artists like Eminem and Jack White, Fantasia, and so many others coming in to celebrate this monument of Detroit reopening into a new era. Joining us to talk about this special concert and the impact of Detroit on music in general is journalist Gary Graff on the Splash Live with us. Gary, thank you so much for your time today.
Good morning, Tyler.
Glad to have you on to talk about
it. It was a late night, as you can imagine.
Yeah, it was a late night. It was an exciting night too. You were there. We've seen some images and some videos from you from your X page, and it was an exciting concert to watch on TV. What was it like to experience that in person with all those stars in Detroit?
So it was like seeing it on TV, only on steroids, as you can imagine. The feeling was really good. The building looked beautiful, and then to have it, and we got lucky with the weather. Which was nice, and then to have a show where you had one classic song after another, one iconic Detroit or Michigan-related music artist after another, and even the one who was glaringly not there, Bob Seger, they paid tribute to him. You had Melissa Etheridge, Jelly Roll, and Fantasia. They each did a song and then came together to do a little bit of old-time rock and roll. But then to have Eminem do the first live performance of Houdini, his brand new single, with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. Big Sean performed a new song. Diana Ross played her hits. Slum Village and Common paid tribute to Ella J. The Clark sisters and Kiara Sheard, took it to church, literally. With what they did, and then to have Jack White play Seven Nation Army with the flames going off behind him and the pyrotechnics. I mean, that's a pretty good night of Detroit music.
And really encapsulates all of what Detroit music is about, because you mentioned one of the opening performances of the night was Diana Ross, and so many people, when they think of music and Detroit, they associate Detroit, of course, with Motown music, but what we saw on that stage really exemplifies what Detroit music, what Michigan music is all about. It really is represented in so many different facets. And on that note, Gary, I mean, you've been around the music scene for a long time. You've seen the impact Detroit has had outside of the city. Just how big of a music city is Detroit, and how big of an impact has it had outside of here?
Oh, it's massive and it's world class. I mean, and in across genres, Motown, of course, and rhythm and blues in general. This was where John Lee Hooker started, where he first played Boogie Chillin'. So you have that, rock, great heritage in rock, hip hop and rap. This is where techno was invented. We have the Detroit Symphony Orchestra is a world-renowned orchestra. So we really do check off all the boxes. We cover all the bases and all the other cliches you can say about it. And I think what you see here, though, is, okay, this was not just a Detroit concert last night. This was streamed via Peacock. On Sunday night, it's going to be a 1 hour special on NB freaking C, okay, national broadcast. That tells you what the impact of Detroit music is as a heritage and as a brand, that you could take what's essentially the opening of a local office building, right? And turn it into an international streaming and TV special because it's Detroit music. You know, the rest of the world wants to see Eminem. They want to see Jack White. They want to hear Bob Seger songs. They want to hear Diana Ross. That right there tells you the impact. And when you talk to the folks who put this thing together, and they told you, yeah, we went to NBC, and as soon as we started reeling out who was going to be playing the music, they said yes. And again, this is the opening of a local office building, really. I mean, it's a historic and a hugely important story here in Detroit. And yes, if you can make the case about Detroit, as goes Detroit, so goes the nation, as was famously said back in the 40s, and of, how the opening of Michigan Central only continues Detroit's legacy in transportation, technology. But it really was the music that got a national network and an international streaming service on board to send this thing out worldwide.
And it's a great way to be an ambassador for Detroit and the metro area also. Music is one of those universal languages, and we really had that on display in Detroit yesterday. And in terms of the crowd output, I mean, you were in the thick of that beforehand. We saw pictures of you that you took of the stage before anyone had arrived. What was the vibe like down there from people all across Detroit and around Michigan that converged on Michigan Central Station?
Very happy and very chill. Believe it or not. A lot of excitement, of course, about the event, but about the amusement, but just people happy to be there on a nice night. They knew they were there on a special occasion. The vast majority of the people there were, of course, from Detroit, and they were feeling the pride, feeling the grit, feeling that this is the opening of a new era, symbolized by a place that was a symbol of our decline. Detroit's declined for so long. That place was a hellhole. I went to raids there, that we snuck in. I was at one that got raided. And, and Patti Smith, who received a special award before the show, she talked about how she and her late husband, Fred Smith, used to go down to Michigan Central and fantasize about whether this place could ever be renovated and reopened. Jack White, who grew up in the area, told me about how he used to go down there, ride his bike down there or whatever, and look at it and say, could this place, if you had ever told me then that this place could ever be like it is tonight, no way. It's too big a job. But to their credit, the Ford Motor Company took it on, put in a lot of money and a lot of man hours, and made it a great symbol of Detroit, period, of Detroit history, of Detroit resilience, of Detroit legacy. And last night, Detroit music, and as people go inside for the tours over the next 10 days that they're doing, you'll see a lot of Detroit music reflected in the history that's reflected in Michigan Central.
There's plenty more coverage you can see of the concert that happened on Thursday at Michigan Central Station. You can follow along for even more great stories on local music and music in general on Twitter or X at Graf on Music. Joining us is a music journalist, Gary Graf, on today's edition of The Splash Live. Gary, before we let you go, your lasting thoughts from this concert and really what Detroit means and has meant to music across the generations.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody had any doubt that Detroit means as much to music as New York or Los Angeles or Nashville or Austin or London or Ibiza or anywhere, they just have to spend an hour watching NBC on Sunday night, and you'll know. This is one of the preeminent music cities in the world, and certainly last night we showed it.
Gary, thank you so much for your time and to give us a little bit more of that inside look at what was really an historic event that happened in Detroit on Thursday.
And happy National Donut Day today.
Yes, to you as well. Go get yourself one.
Couldn't think of a better thing to have follow up something like this.
Hey, we saw Jelly Roll perform last night. Have a Jelly Roll on Friday morning. Gary, thank you so much.
You got it. Have a good day.
You as well. So glad to be joined by Gary Graff on the program to talk about what was really an historic moment that reached us all throughout the Detroit and metropolitan area. We think about all those musicians, Kevin, that performed last night, whether it was Eminem, who helped to produce and organize that concert, or Jack White. Big Sean had an excellent performance there also. And those that came in, like Melissa Etheridge, to perform and tribute Detroit music, and of course, one of the queens of Detroit music in Diana Ross. It really just shows the impact that Detroit has had on musicians all across Michigan and around the world.
Great points were brought up with that interview, by the way, Tyler. Yes, I'm so glad to see the redevelopment and the growth of Detroit from what it has been through over the last few decades, I should say. And for that, one of the eyesores, and what has been an eyesore in downtown Detroit for so long, or the Corktown area, I should say, finally getting remodeled, redeveloped, and getting the shine that it deserves. It's a beautiful thing to see for everybody in the Metro Detroit area.
That is for sure. And as Gary mentioned, it will be shown once again. If you didn't see the live concert last night, it was broadcast locally on WDIV on Channel 4, but it will be rebroadcast by NBC on Sunday night. A great way to look at what was an amazing night in Detroit. Kevin, we're going to have an amazing day coming up right here in West Bloomfield Township next week as we get to explore health and wellness and fitness and medicine all at West Bloomfield Town Hall. It's going to be the 15th annual Greater West Bloomfield Health and Wellness Fair hosted by the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. We'll be there for a live broadcast as well. But to get you ready for all that you can learn at this free event right at Town Hall is the Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, Suzanne Levine, joining us today on the Splash Live. Suzanne, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you again for having me.
Glad to have you on to preview what is a really special event every single year, and it has grown so much over the first 14 years, and now in year number 15, providing so much information to the public. Give us a little bit of insight on where the Health and Wellness Fair kind of started and how it's grown over these past 14 years.
Well, originally, West Bloomfield Township offered the health fair to their employees as a way to make sure that they stay healthy, because we know an employee that feels good is going to perform better. And at some point, they realized that this was something that could be a community benefit as well. And they asked if the chamber would take it over, which we were thrilled to do because we're here to serve the community. So anything we can do to benefit our businesses, our medical facilities, and make sure that our community is healthy, that's something that we're real all about. So we were so excited to do that, and it's just grown, and it's such an exciting event because there are so many different health and wellness facilities, businesses, organizations that will be present to offer all the different information that people need to know to keep themselves healthy and sustain their lifestyle.
And all four of our communities here in Greater West Bloomfield, whether it's West Bloomfield Township or it's any of the Tri-Cities, they're primarily bedroom communities. It's families, it's seniors, it's adults and their partners that are living together. And so there's a wide variety of age groups and of necessities in health, but that's all also kind of encapsulated by some of the vendors that you're going to have on site on Tuesday. Tell us a little more about who people will be able to interact with at the health fair.
Absolutely. Of course, we have our great community partner, Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. They'll be offering blood pressure for our citizens. Hopefully that day will be normal. We have a pediatric to offer different things for our children. We have a lot of senior different organizations. We run the entire gamut from senior to adolescent, to health, mental health, which we know is a true pandemic That is something that we really need to, address on a daily basis. So we have so many different organizations, and we have some fun ones like, believe it or not, Drip IV, which will be offering free B12 shots because to energize our people. And we have, I believe we have, let me think about this, physical therapy to offer medical massages, which is very different than a regular massage, where they get to the pressure points in your body to help you, sustain your life and go on with your day. So we really have just about everything you could possibly imagine.
You can learn more about the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce's 15th Annual Health and Wellness Fair by visiting their website on westbloomfieldchamber.com. You can also follow them on Facebook for even more events in health and wellness and beyond in our local business community, facebook.com/westbloomfieldcc. We're joined by their executive director, Suzanne Levine, on today's edition of the Splash Live. Tuesday next week will be the 15th Annual Health and Wellness Fair from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. at West Bloomfield Town Hall. Come on out and join us out there also. We'll have a live broadcast right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM at 11 o'clock with even more information. And Suzanne, it's a really important event for people because not only do they get to learn about the health resources in our community, they get to ask their questions to these professionals as well. So for people that may be curious about coming out to this event or may be wondering if they should come out to this event, why should they go there?
Well, first of all, it's free. And second of all, there's going to be a lot of great swag. But I think really more importantly is that the more informed decision you can make about your health, the better off you are. I think you need to ask questions. I think you need to interview different providers because we know that health is a trust issue. So the more you can make these connections with our health and wellness professionals, the better off you'll be as far as your long-term longevity, whether it's that you have to place your parent in a senior facility, whether it's a decision about what to do with your child, whether it's mental health issues that maybe you are experiencing or someone in your family is experiencing. These are all really important decisions. I mean, health is probably, other than family, is the most important thing you can do for yourself and for your family to sustain your health. There really is nothing more important. So it really is your outlook on life, and it's how long you can live a very well balanced, good life. So please come out. We're really excited to meet you. It's from 11 to 2. There'll be over 40 different great health professionals. We even have some fun things. I think we have someone who makes really fun keychains. We know that activities for the brain are really good. So come on out. Introduce yourself. Bushes will be there to offer free water. And I'm hoping for a really great turnout, but more importantly, I'm hoping that people get the information they need to sustain the quality of their life and the life of the people they love.
And that's what's really important about this too, Suzanne, is you get the resources that are available there. You see what's here in the community. You get to talk with these individuals, meet them, and they get to know a little bit about your background, your story, your needs, and can point you in directions of other people that are right there that can help you as well. But outside of an event like this that happens once a year, how does the Chamber of Commerce help to continue to provide these resources to people in our communities and in nearby communities that also patronize our local health businesses in West Bloomfield?
Well, I consider myself a business matchmaker, and I love connecting businesses with great partners that they can do business with. And I always tell that one story where a young gentleman bought a pizza parlor, and I connected him with all these real estate agents and said, when they sell a home, they should let him know, and he could deliver a free pizza, welcome to the neighborhood. What a great way to introduce his business to the community. So I'm always trying to think of different ways to connect people and businesses to the community and the resources that they need by thinking kind of a little bit dynamically, things that might not necessarily seem like they fit, but they do. And we have lots of networking opportunities. We have our wealth group, wellness and health professionals, that meets once a month. We have our senior resource group where not only do these businesses that want to do business with seniors network with each other, but now they're getting in front of vibrant seniors through our fabulous partnership with West Bloomfield Parks and Rec at Connect. So I'm always trying to think of different ways to make sure sure that our businesses and community are partners. And we're very grateful not only to Civic Center TV and you, but West Bloomfield Township that always gives us a great opportunity to make sure that we are vibrant and our community as well.
It's the central, West Bloomfield Town Hall really is that central hub for everything in our township. And then it's also going to be the central hub for all things health and wellness. Tuesday next week, it's going to be the 15th annual Health and Wellness Fair at West Bloomfield Town Hall. Tuesday, June 11th, 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. And if you can't make it out there, tune in to our live broadcast at 11 o'clock right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Suzanne, thank you as always for your time.
Thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend.
You as well. Wonderful weekend to all of our friends at the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. They got to get their rest. Big day coming up on Tuesday. A lot of information, a lot of people to meet, and a lot to learn about at the 15th Annual Greater West Bloomfield Health and Wellness Fair at Town Hall. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Plenty more to get to. We'll hear from our police. We'll hear from our fire department, plus plenty of fun events and big accomplishments in education. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, we love to talk to our local first responders to get an inside look on topics of interest and importance to our community each and every day. But what we don't see is all the work that they do behind the scenes to be ready to keep us safe.
Yes, Tyler, we actually did some exploring on Facebook, and we found that the West Bloomfield Fire Department went through some type of specific training last week along with the paramedics inside of a real home that was scheduled to be demolished. And that kind of drew a little bit of curiosity between us. So join us here on the Splash Live to take us a little bit in detail in regards to their training in that situation. Specifically, we have from West Bloomfield Fire Department, the training captain, Jeff Lekowski, join us on the Splash. Thank you so much for joining us, Captain.
Yeah, thanks for having me here today. Excited to kind of talk about what we're doing at the fire department and kind of answer any questions that you might have.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, first and foremost. Now, we want to kind of start off with what we saw on the Facebook page of you all training inside of a real home that was scheduled to be demolished. Now, I just want you to kind of explain, can you tell us the difference between training behind a actual home that was scheduled to be demolished versus a controlled environment?
Yes, so right now in the West Bloomfield Fire Department, we do about 20,000 hours of training every year just to make sure that our personnel are ready to really respond to any emergency. And a lot of that is in simulated like training facilities that you see, usually made out of cement, things like that. And every once in a while throughout the year, when homes are being sited to be demolished, the homeowners will give us the home, usually for a week to a couple weeks, to be able to kind of perform all the training tasks that we have. It gives us the ability to go into a home that we're not familiar with, unlike a training site, and really kind of do everything that a firefighter would do on a training scene.
Very interesting. When I saw that, I felt like I pretty much exactly what you said, but I couldn't explain it in the exact same way. But can you kind of go through some of the specific scenarios, topics, or situations that you all went through using that home?
Yeah, certainly. So one of the more basic things that we do is just hose advancement, where we can smoke up a house. We have a butane heater that'll kind of place heat within the home to kind of simulate a fire, where our firefighters can look for victims. They can look for downed firefighters to kind of, if there was an issue with that. We do a lot of ventilation where we can use our chainsaws or ventilation saws, where we can actually cut holes within the roofs. It's something that we would do on a fire ground. We do a lot of search and rescue. We do a lot of being able to make entry into a home, where we can actually break a door down, break a window. Obviously, a lot of times we can't do that in a home that's not being demolished because we don't want to do damage.
Right.
It gives us an opportunity to practice our officer responsibilities by sizing up a scene and kind of giving commands to the crews that are coming in. And it's just an invaluable resource that we have thanks to the residents that donate their homes.
I don't think too many people realize how dangerous it is just to be a firefighter in those real life situations. One of my best friends is a firefighter also, and he, just kind of paints the picture for me. But overall, even during training, that can be sort of a dangerous situation. So can you just talk about, even though it's training and it's in a real home, how you all still ensure safety for your trainees throughout these situations?
Obviously with fire or even the police department, safety is the number one with anything that we do, whether it's real life or training.
Correct.
Obviously, we're going into these homes. We have our full turnout gears on. We're on air. A lot of times we'll black out the face mask just to kind of simulate zero visibility, like with smoke. The firefighters are carrying in axes. They're carrying in pipe poles and a bunch of other equipment that can be extremely dangerous. But it's also very realistic to the job that we perform. But throughout the whole scenario, we have instructors on standby, kind of viewing everything just to ensure that everyone's safe and that we're really getting the most realistic training possible.
I would imagine so, especially with it being, and I want to thank the homeowner also myself for being able to donate a home for use for our township fire department to be able to use in these real life situations. And I know it helps for the trainees who are going through this situation probably for the first time without being in that situation. But like I said, I want to thank people like that in the community, and we'll speak on that again. But join us here on the Splash Live from the West Bloomfield Township Fire Department Team Training Captain Jeff Likowski, talking about their recent training inside of an actual home that was scheduled to be demolished, that was actually donated from a resident. Now, can you just talk about how, I'm not sure if this is the first time, I would imagine it's not, but can you just talk about how residents donating their homes for situations like this, how helpful it is and how it makes a difference in your in teamwork and camaraderie?
Yeah, certainly. First off, the next time we do acquire a house, we'd love to have Civic Center come out. Maybe you can do a little reporting there and kind of see exactly what it is that we do. I think that'd be great for us and be great for you and the residents. So typically how it works is we've worked very closely with the West Bloomfield Township, where when a builder or homeowner comes in and requests a permit to demolish their home, we have a little packet that we give them that kind of explains the different types of trainings that we would like to do. We end up coming into a lease agreement for a $1 really donation where we're able to utilize these homes. And again, sometimes we have them for a couple days. Sometimes we've had homes for a month or two. It really depends on the schedule of the builder and kind of where the homeowner is at with the house. But it's something that we love to do. We can usually get one or two a year. Sometimes we have more. But every time we do, it's special, and it's something that the firefighters, don't take for granted. I bet.
And then just to think about it too, you all are doing this with the paramedics too. So it's the firefighters and the paramedics. So I imagine there's situations where you two have to work together, situations where it's only firefighters involved, situations where it may be only paramedics involved. And you answer my question in regards to how frequently this may happen also, once or twice a year and that nature. So it's just a lot of things being uncovered just by you kind of giving us this information. Have you gotten any feedback specifically from any of the trainees, paramedics, or firefighters in regards to how they feel about this?
Yes. So really, anytime we're able to acquire a structure like this, it's almost as a whole, every firefighter loves that type of training. It's one thing to simulate, doing our task in the bay of a fire station, but we have to use our imagination quite a bit for doing that. But when we're actually in a house, the surroundings are realistic. To a T that the firefighters love doing training like that. The other thing that you mentioned is we're very fortunate here in West Bloomfield, where all firefighters here are also paramedics. So we do the dual role where we do the paramedic for all the medicals, but we also do all the firefighting as well.
That's interesting because my friend who's a firefighter also described the same thing. He had to go through and get his paramedic license, if I said that correctly, to kind of have that dual role also. And it makes sense, right? Because if you are in that situation, there's going to be some type of medical assistance needed almost immediately. So other than having to wait on paramedics to get there and do something, I completely understand. So once again, I just want to applaud and tip my hat off to the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Everything that you all do to kind of prepare yourselves to handle these situations within the community. Anyone watching, listening, interested in becoming a potential firefighter, becoming a firefighter, what advice would you give them? How would they go about starting that? What would you be able to tell them?
First off, it's probably one of the greatest professions out there. Something that you can leave at the end of the day and actually feel like you've made a difference to the community, which is really something special. Any of the local community colleges have firefighter academies that someone could attend. After that, the individual would get their basic or paramedic license. It takes about 3.5 years to obtain your firefighter and paramedic certifications. And after that, it's just a matter of putting your application in, doing an interview, and really finding the department that's the right fit for you. I'm a little biased, but West Bloomfield has probably one of the better fire departments out there. Willing to put my paycheck on it. We have a really good culture. The men and women here are probably some of the best firefighters that you'll see that truly care about each other and the public.
That's what I'm talking about. Big up the team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. And thank you for giving that insight, because I imagine we have some aspiring firefighters that want to eventually join that West Bloomfield Township Fire Department. So thank you again, Training Captain Jeff Lakowski from the West Bloomfield Fire Department, talking about their recent training site, real situation houses, and more. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you for having me. And as always, have a great day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tyler, we love getting into the insight of the people who make the community work, go round, keep us safe, that type of thing. We don't necessarily get to know or go inside the training that it takes for our firefighters to actually prepare for those situations. So thank you again to Team Captain Jeff Lakowski for coming on the show and taking us inside those real situations.
In the past, Kevin, I've had a chance to go to their Fire Ops 101 training, which is an annual event they do with neighboring fire departments through the Oakway Partnership. They go to their training facility on Oakland Community College's Auburn Hills campus and do an extensive day of training. And just to see kind of that from the outside looking in years ago was really interesting. And I know that's something that's very moving for our local leaders who also are often invited to participate in that. And so we'll definitely take Captain Lakowski up on his offer to have us come out to one of their future training sessions at one of these homes that will be demolished and is being used for their training to get more of an inside look. So we'll keep up to date on that with the West Bloomfield Fire Department. You can keep up to date with them on more safety tips and information and get some of those pictures from inside their training at that home in West Bloomfield. Follow them on Facebook at WB Fire Department. Kevin, as we mentioned earlier on, it is the last day of school. As we wrap up the 2023-2024 school year in West Bloomfield, we have to continue to acknowledge some of the great accomplishments by our students throughout the district. That includes at the West Bloomfield Transition Center, where they celebrated their graduates at their promotion ceremony earlier on this week. Now, the West Bloomfield Transition Center was a program that was started in 2010 as a way for the district to serve 18 to 26-year-old students continuing their IEP education and additional support as they go into vocational training programs, higher education, and more. And it's helping to guide them into gaining additional skills necessary to be responsible and live out their adult lives with prosperity. And these students showing they are more than capable and ready after their additional learning experience with the West Bloomfield Transition Center. Huge congratulations to all of them.
We in that season, Tyler. I want to say congratulations. I'm trying not to tear up. I don't know if you can tell, but congratulations to all the graduates all across West Bloomfield and continuing to a new chapter in life.
Yeah, congratulations also in order for our Project Search interns in the West Bloomfield School District. They just completed their run with the largest employer in our township, Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. That helps them in a school-to-work transition program, providing employment and education opportunities within one of the largest hospital systems in Michigan, and as we said moments ago, the largest employer in our local area in Greater West Bloomfield. These students got a chance to get an inside look on what makes a hospital run each and every day and provide the high level of service and care they provide each and every day. So another big congratulations in order for these students too, as they have completed another rung of their education.
Keep the congratulations coming, Tyler. Class of 2024 is represented in all different aspects, different fields and everything. So happy to see it. Congratulations to the Project Search graduates also.
Hey, we're not just congratulating the students. The students are giving their thanks as they complete their school year as well. Our neighbors right over next door at Chico Elementary School sending letters to the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, acknowledging their help in organizing their annual Pine Tree and Pine Cone reading programs. Look at this. Look at the haul of letters on CivicCenterTV.com sent right next door to the main library. All smiles over there as they received letters of encouragement and notes from students across Chico Elementary School. One note from one of the students, Madison Fenderson, wrote, quote, "Thank you for helping us learn the joy in reading. We had a really fun time reading the Pine Tree books. Thank you, library." You can see even more of those pictures on the library's Facebook page at West Bloom LIB. And of course, it's summer reading season. You can keep up to date with all their programs on WBLIB.org. Having reading often something that some of the younger students, you kind of got to entice them into doing. But the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, the thank yous show all you need to know about how they've helped to encourage kids to grow a love of reading this school year.
Exactly, Tyler. I love to see it. The reading program, the summer reading program, the 100-book challenge and everything. We're seeing the youth actually embrace it. We're seeing the parents actually take their kids and actually help and support them, actually going to the reading. I love to see it. Congratulations. Love to see reading advocated within the community.
Partnership plays a huge role in education. The library, a big part in that as well. Kevin, pickleball has become all the rage across not only our community, but around the country, as it's one of the fastest growing sports in America, and it's coming to West Bloomfield in a special new place. The local hub for pickleball is going to be at Pickle Rage, which will be opening very soon in West Bloomfield Township in the Gateway Center. Now, a couple weeks ago, we showed you some of those exterior pictures you just saw on CivicCenterTV.com. Now they're working on the inside. They've cleared it out. They've redone the flooring, added some of the painting, and you see all that space on your screen. So much room for activities at Pickle Rage. They're going to have so many different courts out there and a chance for people from all across our community to play their new favorite game and bring people in to West Bloomfield Township. Kevin, really exciting stuff from a soon to be joining us business in the community.
Pickleball, I have been hearing a lot more about it. I still don't know exactly what it is, but I'm glad that it's coming to the West Bloomfield community because we can get our community, our residents out there to embrace it and get out there and embrace physical activity and physical health more than anything. So shout out to Pickle Rage for coming to the community and introducing that sport right here to us. We appreciate that.
Yeah, you can follow along with them, see their progress, and learn more about when they may be opening in our community. Facebook at Pickle Rage West Bloomfield. In the meantime, plenty of places to go and play this hot new game in our community, including at some of our parks through West Bloomfield Parks and in Sylvan Lake at the community center. They've converted some of those tennis courts into pickleball courts for Sylvan Lake residents as well. So plenty of different places to experience that. Kevin, we were in the middle of National Gun Storage Check Week, and really it's such an important topic to go over for those that are firearm owners. Safety and security of your firearms is paramount, and the West Bloomfield Police Department hoping to provide some additional education to the community.
Yes, Gun Storage Check Week, very important. We've been talking about gun safety awareness, gun violence awareness for a while now. And join us here on the Splash Live from the West Bloomfield Police Department. We have Administrative Sergeant Dave Sage. Join us to talk a little bit more about Gun Storage Check Week. Thank you again for joining us.
No problem. Good morning, guys.
Absolutely. So this is something that's been going on. It's a week-long campaign that promotes responsible firearm storage among gun owners to prevent accidents, suicides, and thefts. Can you just once again just talk about how important it is to not only make sure your gun is stored safety, but make sure it's properly locked also?
Sure. Well, like you said, Gun Storage Check Week, nationwide campaign. It's actually June 1st through 7th this year, so we're kind of at the end of it. But essentially, it's got a couple components to that. The Safe Storage Gun Law was signed last year, 2023. It went into effect February this year. And basically, oversimplification of that is you as a firearm owner can now be held criminally or civilly responsible if a firearm you own falls into the hands of someone that should not have it, whether that be a minor, something along those lines. It could be as easy as a misdemeanor if for example, a minor, a child should get a hold of a pistol, take it to school to show some friends. You could be criminally responsible for a misdemeanor, all the way up to a felony should a firearm that was not stored properly is used to kill or injure another. And aside from just being responsible gun ownership, importance, it is obviously a law now as well. Examples of a secure firearm would be the use of a cable or trigger lock, a lock box at home, or a gun safe. What is not considered safe and secure, even in your home, would be, say, the top of a refrigerator, your nightstand, or even, hey, I thought it was secure because I left it in the the glove box of my vehicle. Basically, the campaign is trying to eliminate the possibility of a firearm that was purchased responsibly falling into the hands of someone that should not have it, is not trained, something along those lines.
Completely understand, Sergeant. Thank you for providing that insight too. I want to say this from the perspective of a firearm owner myself, right? How can we find that perfect balance between making sure our firearm is locked up and safe so that no one who shouldn't access it gets to it, and making sure it is accessible in case of those emergency situations, God forbid, that we do need to access it?
Sure. Well, in regards to that, I would start with what type of firearm you have and what you need to use it for. So in reference to your question, if you have multiple firearms and ones that you're not necessarily using for, say, home defense and protection, you would want more of a long-term storage for that. Your trigger lock, your gun lock, in a gun safe, those sort of things. If you have the protection, the firearm that you are looking for your home protection, they make some still secure, but more easily accessible methods of containing that. And those would be your lock boxes. Without getting too much into, all the different types, You can go to the gun store. They have ones that have finger combinations where you would just, hold your finger and you do that. They have ones that work off the ID bracelets, the same technology you may use at work to get into a certain door for an office. You can get bracelets that open up special boxes. So it really comes down to what your personal need is. And I guess kind of the sky's the limit, really, what your budget is. You can go very low tech and just get a lock box with a key on it. If that is what you can, obtain in order to secure that. But I would always recommend, if you have multiple firearms, to take those ones that you maybe don't use as much and really put those in more of a safe storage, long-term cable lock, trigger lock inside a safe. If you're going to take it to the range, obviously you have plenty of time to go get that, remove those protections and get it to the range or whatever.
Sergeant, great perspective. I'm so glad you touched on it all. Yes, it's not like you're going to be using every single firearm on a frequent basis. So yes, depending on the use, depending on, however you plan on going to the range or whatever, lock them up accordingly. I love that perspective right here. Join us right here on the Splash Live from the West Bloomfield Police Department Administrative Sergeant Dave Sage, talking about National Gun Storage Check Week, making sure your firearm is safely secured within your home. Now let's talk about why this is so important, specifically right here in the West Bloomfield community. Sergeants, let's talk about, has there been any warning or any news that we should kind of be aware of in the fact of making sure that our guns are properly stored, specifically here in West Bloomfield, or just get into the details of why this is important here?
Well, with the media today, I'm sure everybody is aware of, some of the recent events, the unfortunate school shootings. We've had some very close, not here in West Bloomfield, thank goodness, but, ones where the firearm was obtained from something that a parent had legally, right? So I don't have the statistics for the nationwide, where it falls on things that have happened, unfortunately, for a firearm that was obtained by someone that shouldn't have had to have it because it wasn't stored correctly. But, one case is too many, right? As far as that goes, here at the West Bloomfield Police Department, we are offering this week, and actually even beyond this week, we will give township residents free cable locks here at the front desk. Just come in 24/7. The front desk staff know where they're at. We have plenty to give out. If you have multiple firearms, we can do that. That cable lock is, like I had mentioned before, is more of something that is a long-term storage option. But that is something we do free of charge. And if anybody else is, watching outside of West Bloomfield, most local municipalities offer a service like that as well.
Absolutely. And we appreciate those resources being available right here in our community, just in case people may have a firearm but don't have access to that right there. So thank you again for joining us on the Splash, Sergeant. Any additional information, resources that you want to let the community know about before we let you go?
So yeah, the cable locks, again, free here. Other municipalities do as well. It's always good as a firearm owner to continue the, training. You don't ever want to just go down to your local gun store and buy something and take it home and think that you're an expert because you've watched a couple of action movies.
Correct.
There's all types of different places you can go for training, local firearms store, some of the local clubs, things like that. But we do recommend basic firearm safety skills training for anyone that owns a firearm. And then again, we offer the cable locks to anybody that would want those.
There it is. Thank you again from the West Bloomfield Township Police Department Administrative Sergeant Dave Sage, joining us talking about National Gun Storage Safety Check Week. Thank you again for your time, sir. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, Tyler. Great opportunity for us to actually talk to our local police department about Gun Storage Check Week so that everyone is aware of the proper way to make sure we are being proactive, I should say, to any possible accidents rather than reactive. So thank you again to Sergeant Sage for his time.
Yeah, glad to hear from the West Bloomfield Police Department with some really important advice to our residents as they continue to consider safety in their homes. And this plays a critical role in that, not only in your homes, but out in the community, because if your firearms can be accessed by someone that shouldn't be accessing them in your home. You can have an accident happen or a tragedy happen in your home, or if they can be easily accessed and stolen, then other things can happen outside of your home that also obstruct justice being met for people that do commit crimes with firearms in our community. So there's so many ways that this connects from our homes and our personal weapons out into the community. So good to hear from our local police for that advice. You can always go to them for even more advice and any questions you may have. And of course, if you're looking to pick up a gun lock, they do provide those for free at the headquarters at Town Hall. Visit facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD to learn more information and follow them to keep up to date with our local police department. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We'll take a break. On the other side, we'll tell you more about some fun and activities happening in our community very soon.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft, alongside Kevin McIntosh, and thank you for always keeping up to date with us and following us on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15 and subscribing for free to our YouTube page at Civic Center TV. In addition, you can always keep up to date on the latest programming, including municipal meeting coverage on civiccentertv.com. Kevin, now that we got through the business of that, let's get to the fun happening over the weekend. And it all kicks off in the heart of the lakes. A really fun new program that they're implementing this summer is called Kego Connect. Not only bringing people together in the city of Kego Harbor, but bringing those people into a greater connection with their local parks spread all throughout the heart of the lakes. And their first Kego Connect event is happening this weekend. They will be painting the park on Sunday, June 9th, beginning at 12 noon at Tate Optimist Park. 83 different posts or bollards or whatever you want to call them that are available there. You're seeing them on your screen right now on civiccentertv.com. They're just wooden posts right now, but after this weekend, they will be a colorful symbol of the creativity of Kego Harbor residents. So all you got to do is show up, bring your paint, bring your brushes, and a little bit of creativity, and get to work beautifying one of our local parks. Sounds like a great way to connect with one of our local parks right off the West Bloomfield Trail and maybe, hey, get to know some of the neighbors.
First thing I thought of, Tyler, take the kids. They want to color on the walls inside the house. Nope. This is a great opportunity for them to do that right outside at the park where they want them to do that. So great opportunity in Kego Harbor.
Yeah, I know one of those posts is going to be painted yellow. I recall at one of the recent city council meetings, Kirsten Sonneville Douglas, our friend of the show from Kego Harbor Park, said her son, it's his favorite color. One of those is going to be painted in yellow, so you'll see that over the weekend. And you can paint one of them yourselves as well. Great idea. Bring the kids out there, get to know some of their neighbors, and maybe make some new friends to play with over the summer vacation. If you're willing to help some people in our community that are in need, there is a clothing drive that will be taking place also this weekend. That will be taking place on Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to 12 noon at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. The drive is looking for clothes for people of all ages and sizes, from newborns to seniors, but preferably clothing better suited for the warmer months as they're preparing for that ahead to help people across our community. The drive also accepts toy donations, provided that they are classified as infant, bath, or educational toys. So if you don't have the items to donate, but you want to make a donation, or you want to learn more about this drive that's being organized by Haley and Emma out of Sylvan Lake, visit theladiesofcharity.org. Again, that is theladiesofcharity.org, or stop by the Sylvan Lake Community Center Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 12 noon. Kevin, a lot of these going on lately here in our community to help raise items that are needed for people not only in our 4 communities, but nearby, and always willing to help each other.
And it's perfect timing too, Tyler, because I know a lot of people are putting up those winter and fall clothes and bringing out their summer clothes. And if you are doing that, in some cases, you probably can't fit some of those clothes, especially if you have a growing child. So this would be a perfect opportunity to not just store those clothes, but donate them to someone who needs it. Great event in Sylvan Lake for them to kind of take one person's unused goods and make it someone else's great used goods.
That is for sure. Someone will be in need of those items, and even if you no longer have a need for them, they can help somebody else, maybe even one of your neighbors here in our community. Again, theladiesofcharity.org for more info. Kevin, as we do again recognize the last day of school, we also recognize it's not only the last day of school for some of our students, but also for many of our educators, including a few at Scotch Elementary School. Congratulations to Miss Doubt, a preschool teacher, Miss Takata, an art teacher, and Miss Acton, their art teacher, on their retirement. And they posted in a statement on the Facebook page of the Scotch Elementary PTO, quote, "Thank you for your years of service to the West Bloomfield School District. Our students and families enjoy this next chapter." We'll put a picture up on the screen of some of these educators as they were celebrated on their final days of school, and you can see even more and give them your thanks as well. Facebook at Scotch Elementary PTO to give your thanks to Miss Doubt, Miss Takata, and Miss Acton for their years of service to our elementary school students. Kevin, that's what's really important this time of the year also, as we say goodbye to our students for the summer, or maybe goodbye as they move on to other schools in the district or beyond. It's also the end of a long journey for many of our teachers who are making that impact on our students every day.
Teachers make that impact heavily on us as kids and students, man. I love when we talk about educators who are retiring, moving on to the next chapter, because we actually get some people that come and say, "Oh, that's Miss Doubt, that's Miss Acton. Oh, I remember she taught me in such and such grade. She's retiring. Oh my goodness." And I love to see that, man. So it's giving the flowers to the educators who really are there in the majority of our life, especially throughout our youth. Congratulations to the educators moving on and retiring throughout their life.
What tends to happen here in West Bloomfield when a teacher comes into the school district, they tend to be there for a long time and for many, many years and decades. And you think about having 15, 20, 30 students in your classroom for 1 year, and then extend that out for a decade or multiple decades, and all of the lives that you impact by doing that. That's what our teachers do. So a huge thank you to them on what's always an exciting day for the teachers and a relieving day for the teachers as they wrap up the school year, but also the end of an era for many. West Bloomfield Parks wanting to keep everybody up to date on things they can do to live a greener lifestyle and support our beautiful local landscapes and environment. For their Green Dream for the month of June centers around styrofoam. So look, this time of the year, we're out, we're having fun with our friends and our family. We're celebrating different holidays or just enjoying a night outside in our beautiful weather, and maybe enjoying a beverage or two, and we're using these styrofoam cups, but you throw them out and they take a while to decompose, some up to 500 years, according to West Bloomfield Park. So what do? They're suggesting that you reduce your usage of them by using reusable cups or biodegradable cups instead of that styrofoam. At the very least, limit how much you're using styrofoam to help our local environment, Kevin.
It makes sense, and I'm glad they're making us aware of this type of thing. Now, I don't find myself in a situation drinking out of styrofoam and just tossing it out in a landfill or just in the land, but it's good that we all know this so that we can be more aware, more conscious to keep our community and our environment very safe and eco-friendly.
You look outside, you see a lot of green, you see a lot of flowing waterways and beautiful landscapes and parks here in the greater West Bloomfield area. That's how you keep it that way. Learn more information and get information on environmental education opportunities at wbparks.org or on their Facebook at WB Parks. Just like that, the week is over for us, Kevin. We got to go. We're out of time. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. We thank you for joining us. Thank our crew, Calvin Brown and Jake Schaff at Master Control. Alongside Kevin McIntosh, I'm Tyler Keith. Thanks for joining us.